Welcome back to another installment of Married at First Sight, Season 16, Episode 13. I'm not acting crazy with you tonight. I wish somebody would act crazy on this episode, had act crazy, or start acting crazy on the upcoming episodes because this is a snooze fest, everybody. I need some Hurricane K energy up in this piece because these people are boring me to tears. Not really, because I'm not gonna cry over Married at First Sight. But it's just like this was an episode, and I cannot stand this particular episode. The letter to my younger self episode. Ugh. Those are just the worst episodes because one, especially for this season in particular, these people have not healed from their younger selves. So to say, hey, a letter to my younger self is, you're going to be all right. You're going to be all right. No, no, no. Because Nicole, you are not all right. Because you are still, let me fix my hair a bit, still allowing your past traumas to enter into this current relationship. And let me just tell you all something. This is going to be a spiritual lesson for all of us, myself included, because I'm speaking to my younger and present self. And speaking of present self, this is where it starts. So Eckhart Tolle wrote a book, The Power of Now. Nicole, read it, because all that jibber jabber from who was mean to you, who burned a cigarette on you, who cigarette, I want to smoke a cigarette with my friends. That's what made me think of. Who dogged you out and you lied as a kid about, you did all this. Nah. You were a child. That was the past. This is the now. And you are about to ruin the now by bringing up the past. Because everything that exists up here does not need to come out of here. So, Nicole, get a grip. Get a grip. And Married at First Sight production, I've said this time and time again. You are not trying to match people who are ready to be married. All these people on this season should have been on that failed show, the Impossible Married at First. Like, what was the show? That show that came on briefly where they took from the casting pool of people who weren't ready to be married, who were impossible to match. All these people were probably leftovers from that bunch because none of these people should be married. None of them. Like Nicole and Chris, all they do is trauma dump on each other. And Nicole is taking it too far. And what she doesn't realize she's setting herself up with Chris. She has set herself up. One, she's constantly asking him, does he like her? Does he love her? And blah, blah, blah. And he's not there yet. And then he's already said, if this was a real world, I would not have, stayed or dated Nicole. Because Nicole is just, oh my God, she's draining. Like every episode is something more to pile on to this hill, to this barge of trash. Like, I got more. It's like, I'll raise you one to your, I don't know. I really don't know poker terms, but you get the gist. It's like she's always upping the ante on her traumas. Like, come on, stop it. And Chris is just sitting back listening. But I think on decision day he's gonna be out. And I know they say that there's one couple. Spoilers were like, there's one couple that makes it, and everybody suspected that it's them because they're getting along so well. But they really aren't. I mean, like they haven't peel back the onion. They're peeling back the onion too much. We need to get to the core of who you are. Now, Nicole stays in the past, but Nicole, in the now, you are a good partner if you would just recognize that. The way you went into solution mode when he started crying over those dogs, yeah, we have not forgotten about you crying over those dogs, Chris. I mean, that proved that you can be nurturing and kind-hearted, and you are a good partner. You can solve problems. But Chris, he just seems like he's soaking it all in, and he's gonna I feel like he's gonna do something towards the end of the season. He's gonna flip on you, and you're gonna be like, what? But I thought we were bonding. No, you were bonding over your stories that you continue to tell over and over year after year. And the more you tell these stories about how people abused you or mistreated you, the more somebody is going to mistreat you. Why? Because you get what you believe. You believe, whatever you believe, you receive. That's what I was trying to say. What you believe you receive, and the fact that you keep telling that story shows that you believe you deserve all this pain and agony and struggle and trauma that you receive, because you are not a place right now, back to the power of now, that you are settled in who you are and you're not liking who you are. And speaking of liking who they are, I want to get to Jasmine and Eris. I'm just going to skip over Gina and Clint. Oh, yeah, Gina was in the salon again. Clint, we found out, was a pilot. And Clint's very well rounded. I think women should really think about attributes and things that men can bring to the table besides physical appearance. I know Gina doesn't like gingers, but Gina, you were wearing shorts that were like mom shorts, almost actually dad shorts, the way you had them up high on your waist. That was not a good look, Gina. So who are you to judge Clint's ginger hair and freckled face? But they are not interesting to me, and I won't spend any more time on them. I just say, Gina, next time, if you ever get an opportunity to be on a show, wear some merch and stop talking about that salon, because there are a million salons out there. A million people have salons. Probably in Nashville. There are probably like 500 salons in Nashville. So, big whoop. Oh, I said big whoop. Who says that? That you have a salon. Moving right along. Jasmine and Eris. Eris wrote his letter to himself, and it just sounded like Eris was trying to sound deep and introspective, but he was playing us. And like the production's been playing us by casting these people who don't need to be married. These people who, like, if Eris is saying, if it's true that, Eris has issues with connecting and attaching and committing to people because he moved around a lot, he should not be married. And y'all know this. Y'all know that he didn't need to be married. He just slept with somebody 2 weeks before the show. He said goodbye to the streets. If you have to say goodbye to the streets, that means you really want to go back to the streets. You're not ready to leave the streets if you have to say bye to the streets. Like, first of all, why were you in the streets anyhow? At 39 years old, you should have matured beyond the streets at this point. You should be saying goodbye to the lounges. Not to the lounges. I guess you should be saying goodbye to the clubs. I guess the clubs are equivalent to the streets. Whatever. Eris is just a lame who thinks he's flyer than he really is. He thinks he looks better than he really does. I mean, I know attraction is in the eye of the beholder. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder. I just don't find Eris attractive at all. I'm not the target. He might not find me attractive at all, because I'm a woman of a certain age, and I know how, like the great Kevin Samuels thinks, women are you're a throwaway after age 35, whatever. But I'm about to reference Kevin Samuels again in the next section when we speak about Kirsten and Shaq. But let's finish off Eris. Eris said he wanted to buy his son a Mercedes because that's what, he wished his father could have done for him, Oh yeah, and Eris also said, every time he sees a kid on the street with their father, he breaks out the letter that his father wrote because he had it on his phone. I'm like, so if you're driving down the street and you see a kid, in the park playing ball with his father, you're like, ooh, daddy wrote this letter to my mama. So you're willing to risk your life reading a letter? Like, that's weird to just break out a letter from your father. And I guess he says he's in therapy, so good place to be, Eris. But I don't know how much I believe that Eris is in therapy. I think he's just saying stuff to play to the cameras. And, he mentioned how dry Jasmine is, and she is last episode, but he is dry as toast. He is monotone, and he has nothing. He talks about Jasmine not saying anything funny. I don't see anything entertaining or interesting about Eris. Like, and I'm not saying they're supposed to be ha 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 laughing all the time, telling jokes, but like, let me just go back. I remember the episode with the season with Woody and Amani. Woody had so much personality, and it exuded through the screen. Like, he exuded personality and kindness and warmth. And guess what? They're still together and they had a baby. But you could feel Woody's personality through the screen. Like, he was always shaking and dancing, but he was always in good spirit. You knew that Woody could cook. We knew things about Woody. We don't know anything about Eris, except he thinks he's fly and he likes the streets. And we know things about Jasmine, like Jasmine, she breeds dogs and she's a cheer coach. So she has some things going on. Like we now know that Clint was a pilot and Clint is in tech now. So it's like they have some depth and levels to them. But Eris, we haven't peeled back the onion yet on Eris. That's from White Lotus. Peel back the onion. But and so who are you, Eris? I don't care. I just want the season to hurry up and end. We're at episode 13 and we have like about 20,000 more episodes to go. So I hope these people pump it up. Like, Jasmine, I need you to give us a little bit of Hurricane K. Like, give us something. Like, when you flare those nostrils, Jasmine, I know you have it in you to give us something. And maybe you're like holding back because you don't want to appear like to be the angry, crazy black woman. Or maybe you're holding back because you don't want your students to see you in a bad way, which is smart. But Jasmine, give us something. And speaking of people who are not giving us something, Kirsten and Shaq. Now Shaq is giving us something, but Kirsten, she's like a wind up doll. Like she's like, you wind up her back. Okay, I'm talking now. So here's where I work. Kristen took me to her place of work. She's a realtor. And no, he said a realtor. Realtor. He's a realtor. And he's like, oh, I like tall ceilings. It's vaulted ceilings. Oh, Kirsten can speak about a house, everybody. Who knew? Because I really thought her way of doing real estate was like, here's the house, here's a room, here's a backyard, here's a kitchen. You got, I think they're granite countertops and farmhouse sink. I don't even think she has that in her. But so, we get to the point where she's like, you're going to buy me a house. And because, she has this vision that's delusional to me. And I feel like a lot of people have these delusional or fairy tale ideas of marriage and relationships and parenting that aren't necessarily true. Like she says she's seen husbands buy their wives homes and cars. And that's what she wants. That's what she wants. But, Shaq is a professor. He doesn't make that much. I bet Shaq makes maybe $70,000. I mean, the average American makes like $32,000. And I think that is so weird. I give thanks and praise that I make more than that. And I'm a freelancer. So every year my income changes. Just like you, Kirsten. We don't know how much you make from year to year. Real estate is so up and down. We don't know, but you definitely have these high expectations of a husband. And you claim your father was like the ideal father. He didn't even walk you down the aisle, did he? Because Shaq didn't meet him. It's been so many episodes that the wedding happened. Did he even walk her down the aisle? I don't think he did, because Shaq would have met her father had he walked her down the aisle. So, like, what kind of dad is this that you're putting up on this pedestal? Like, my dad paid for everything. He was a provider. And Shaq's like, I need him to show me the blueprint. He shouldn't have to tell you. You should already know. Well, see, that's where you're wrong. People are growing. If you're growing, Kirsten, you're learning. You don't come here with a playbook already ready. This is how life is going to go. No, life happens. So, Shaq, I think it's smart. Like, hey, if you raise this girl this certain way, I would like to know the blueprint, because she really holds you in high esteem, Mr. Kirsten's dad. But, like, let's just be honest. Your father left when you were 8 years old, Kirsten. He wasn't paying all the bills. And how is it that in your 8-year-old mind, you know what your father was really doing? It's like, it's a fairy tale. And you need to grow up. Grow up, because we know on decision day it's going to be a no. But your next relationship, your expectations for it, I hope you either find that rich athlete or that entertainer or that rich doctor or whomever who can afford that house that you want. I hope you find it. If not, you need to temper yourself and dial it back a bit, and you need to really look realistically and see what it is Like, what's really good? What's really going on? Because all that material stuff means nothing because it's about the relationship. So anyhow, I'm rambling at this point. So, drop into the comments and tell me what you think. Like and subscribe.